Swadika, welcome to Voice of the Nation. You're with me, Nina Nirasham Malisak Lemire, and for today, we're going to talk about one of the important issues in Thailand, which is the mental health, as more and more Thai people have paid attention to this matter. And to also remark the World's Mental Health Day, which is going to be on the 10th of October this year, I would like to welcome our two guests who will share their perspective and experience about this. So please welcome Kun Amontep Satjamuniwong, founder and CEO of Sati App, and also Dr. Varot Choti Pichayasanon, spokesperson, Department of Mental Health. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ First of all, welcome to Voice of the Nations and thank you for being here, both of you ค่ะ
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, me too.
So today we're going to talk about one of the issues that's in Thailand. Before in Thailand, we don't pay attention to this issue that much. But like from the past two years, especially during the COVID-19 situations, people pay more and more their attention to this issue, which is the mental health. Like we have heard about, like how to live healthy life, how to do like work hard, work balance. But this is just only the basic one. So I would like to talk about this matter in to remarks of the World's Mental Health Day. I would like to start with Kun Amontep first. Can you please share this your perspective about what is mental health to you?
Sure. So for me, mental health is something that is very near and dear to me because I've lived with major depressive disorder and psychosis myself since 2015, actually, and have gotten through extensive lengths to take care of myself. And living through it I mean, not just in Thailand, actually, globally, mental health is still a very stigmatized issue. But living in Thailand, when people around you don't understand you, it's quite hard to find the right support, especially when you're not in medical care. Luckily, my family and close friends were there for me. But since 2018, having gone through a lot of treatment and getting better, I realized that there needs to be a better awareness about mental health in Thailand. Either it be through education, either it be through peer support, or either it be through media and having media talk more about mental health. And this is just to create better awareness. This is just to create a place where people feel safe that mental health is actually being discussed on television or online or in many sources of media. And so, the fact that we are here today means that there has been certain things changing for the last, 3-4 years that I've lived through. So thank you for having us here today.
You're the founder of the Sati app as well. I've heard that you going to talk to organize activities to mark the World's Mental Health Day. What is it going to be and where is it going to be held?
Sure. So the 10th October of every year is marked as the World Mental Health Day. But this year, Sati App, with many other amazing organizations, we are hosting the World Mental Health Day on the 9th of October, which is one day before, on Sunday. And it's going to be held at Bangkok Arts and Cultural Center, BACC. And it's going to run from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we have many amazing panels and panelists there. We have panels on youth mental health, on women's mental health, on LGBTQI community mental health, as well as on urban mental health. And one of the amazing panelists that will be there is also Dr. Varot, who will be there on stage with me for urban mental health topic.
So when we're talking about mental health, both of you, like Kun Amontep and Dr. Varot, mental health is not about, how Thai people perceive it as, if someone has mental health, that person is very crazy. Mental health is not about that. And in the past few years, we have heard a lot about depressions, but also mental health is not also about depression. There are so many conditions lying underneath that. So could you please elaborate more about that? I would like to maybe Dr. Varot start first.
Yes, please. Thank you. In the past 5 years, if you compare with the 20-30 years ago, the perception about the mental health problem is completely different comparing to 30 years ago. That time, no one talked about mental health. They feel that people who confronting with the mental health issues like lunatic, in Thailand we call ba, something like that. So this is like a stigma to many people who got mental health issue. But in the past like 5 or 10 years, we have more about social media. People use social media to express the feeling, they express their personal life. So this is the way that people try to convey the message about the mental health issue. So when people read more about the social media, they perceive more and they feel this is quite normal to the society. So they change the perception of the social norms in the society about the mental health issue. In the past 2 years, of course, we faced with the COVID situation in the past 2 years. So it increased problem on the mental health issue. And people talk a lot more about depression because
Right.
depression sometimes is very easy to describe. It's related to people emotion, so people talk about more about depression. But in reality, if you talk about what is the highest prevalence of this mental health issue in Thailand or in other places in the world, it's anxiety disorder. But sometimes anxiety is very difficult to explain. People sometimes think it's just a normal anxiety or something like that, which is not. Sometimes it's just a feeling of fear or anger, but it cannot relate to anxiety disorder. But anyway, it was amazing that people start try to have an awareness start from the depression, and after this people will talk more about schizophrenia, people will talk more about bipolar disorder. It need to be like step by step, it cannot go all over at the same time. I think this situation is a very good sign of the way people will learn, the way people will literate more about the mental health issue in Thailand.
How is the mental health situation in Thailand, ka, Doctor?
Not only in Thailand but all over the world. After the COVID situation, we found that many people they struggle. They cannot. Some people they cannot get past
Get over?
get over this kind of situation. But some people, the most difficult thing is if they cannot get over this situation, but other people around them can get over it. They can compare themselves with other people and feel that they're not worth or they lost their intuition, their passion. So this is the right now many people struggle with this problem. So after the COVID situation, we predicted that people will have to face the problem of mental health issue for like couple of years, or in the worst case it may be for 5 years after COVID already end. So this is the time that people need to aware more. Even the COVID already, like now we are going to open the countries and COVID look like it's gonna end really soon, but people will still have to discuss or think about the mental health issue because of the COVID situation.
คุณอมรเทพคะ how do you see the situation in Thailand about the mental health right now? As you mentioned before, like, it's not just about a person, it's about the family, about lifestyle, about everything surrounding us as well.
Yeah, I think as I've mentioned before, as Doctor have mentioned as well, that maybe many years ago, the fact that mental health could be taken in a very negative term. I mean, it still is at times, but we're seeing a lot of social media platforms coming up and talking about mental health. They're talking about burnout. They're talking about work-life balance. They're talking about family supporting one another, and so we are seeing a lot of these calls popping up on social media. And so that is a very positive thing. But at the same time, there's still a lot of constraints in the way that we are in Thailand as well, because we do not have mental health education at an early age, which can be very important for people to understand and express their feelings and emotions. At the same time, we do not have proper accessibility and affordability of mental health care in Thailand, which means that we have one psychiatrist for 250,000 people living in Thailand. And so that number is really low. And it's a lot of time it's saturated only in big cities, so like in Bangkok or in other major cities in Thailand. So people outside of those major cities might be excluded from mental health care, and therefore mental health education might also reduce in those areas as well. And so there's still a lot of things to be done, but already there's still a lot of things already being done as well, either by the Department of Mental Health themselves or by many other organizations working in this field. So I'm pretty optimistic of the future of mental health in Thailand. But yeah, we just need to continue working together.
I think a lot of organizations have to bring awareness to this as well. And also, I would like to add another angle about social media is when we see some sort of like viral video on social media, and the audience would comment something like, this person has bipolar or something. Is that person have depression or something? This is for the audience, especially Thai audience. It's a joke. It's a joke for them. Like even if it's not on social media, sometimes let's say our close people, sometimes they would make fun of it. But the thing is, they didn't even realize that this has a huge impact, and some of the word may be discriminated. But for them, it's actually a joke. I think this actually Thailand is lacking on this and have to raise more and more awareness about this. So, Dr. Varaka, would you like to implement on this?
Yes. When people stay online or on the social media, sometimes they show different side of the mind, the different side of their personality, because this is a social media, and we need more about media literacy or social media literacy. People need to learn more about how to use media. But anyway, we just have social media for the last 10 years. So people need to learn more to live on the social media. Okay, on your topic, I think there's two type of person who try to mock about the mental health issue. What the first group is the people without the knowledge. They don't really know how to find the knowledge about the mental health, or sometimes the lack of the good perception about the mental health issue as well. The other group of people, sometimes they just a troll. They just want to troll people. It doesn't matter that you are people with mental health issue or you are just normal people. They just want to troll everyone. I think I don't want to talk with the latter group. I want to talk with the first group who lack of the knowledge of their mental health issue. I think right now we have plenty of information around Thai social media or social influencer who discuss a lot about the mental health issue. But it's still lots of information, other information, entertainment or sports or something. Lots of information to be consumed. So the mental health issue is just a small part of content that people will be consumed. So I think it will need more time for the people in the new generation. I think comparing to the people in the different generation, I think people in young generation right now they learn more about the social about the mental health issue, and they talk a lot more because of social media. But it still needs time to have like 80% of 90% of Thai people understand more about the mental issue on the internet and react properly to the people with the mental issue.
Do you think how long Thailand will reach that step?
I think we develop really fast. I think it will be like 5 or 10 years.
Really? That's not far.
So I think it's the next 5 or 10 years. If we see the growth right now, it's getting higher and higher. But I need to say that we need people in Thailand to work together, because social media is not just only the content creator, it's also the people who distribute it, who share it, who post it online, who send it to your friend. So if just only content creator who aware of this issue, it will not work that way. We need everyone to, if you can see the content about the social media, the mental health issue on the social media, it would be great if you can spread it out, if you can send to your friend, if you can just like talk to someone that may need help. So this is the way that we can increase the mental health literacy in Thailand.
As you said, like for me, social media is a tool to reach to the audience, to the people. So actually for me, the world is under your hands right now. So it depends on what are you gonna do about that. Then it depends on what are the vibes that you're gonna send it to the world. Can be positive vibes or it can be negative vibe, but then in whatever it is, you're gonna embrace with the consequences as well. And also, since you mentioned about this, I would like to ask you, Amon Tape, about what is the detail of Sati app? What do you have in there for your for the users to use?
Yep, sure. So I think before we go there, just to go back a little bit, I think it's very important for us to also understand that, because majority of the people might think of mental health in a very one-dimensional way, where they think about it as only the psychological aspect. So feelings, emotions, and something that is very personalized or individualized to one person. But it is very important for us to understand, mental health from 3 dimensions, and that is from the biological, psychological, and social environmental factors. So someone might actually be born with, as I said earlier, a female person might have a higher prevalence of depression than male, but male might have higher rates of suicidal ideation as female. Or you might be born with some genetic component that causes you to be more, how should I put it, sensitive to developing depression or anxiety and so on. Or disability might be a form of that, or social support could be another aspect for you to look at, or even, gap wealth, inequality, the settings that you're living in or environment that you're in, how dirty is it, how clean is it. So all these factors put together can then make you have mental health disorder, or you might not actually develop one either. So it's very important for us to look at all these 3 factors rather than just an individual person and their feelings and their emotions. And that is actually what we want to do at Supply app as well. As we know that we have scarcity of resources in Thailand, but one thing that we have in abundance is people, right? We have over 60 to 70 million people living in Thailand. So if we do not have enough psychiatrists and psychologists at the moment to serve a lot of people who have different disorders, then how can we do it at a very early stage? So the way we work is we work based on the World Health Organization framework, and that is at the lowest foundation of mental health care, and that is peer support. So we try to train people in basic psychological first aid, as many people as much as possible, and have them volunteer on our platforms to be available 24/7 to take up on calls for anyone who is in distress or just needs someone to talk to. And any users can actually download our application on both iOS system and Android system. There's no charges. Thank you for Department of Mental Health who have supported us in the development of this as well. You can download the app. You can create your account without using your real name. You can be anonymous. Just provide us with your date of birth, your gender, and now we're asking for location services as well. And so that we can connect you to the best listener that is, that can link up with you as fast as possible. So we want to connect with listeners who are in the same locality as you, so that if you want to see it, speak or discuss in the same dialect, you can do so. At the same time, we also want to make sure that there's cultural appropriation for users when we're connecting them to the listeners as well. And once our users hang up, our listeners hang up, the listener will just let us know the issues that the users raised. So for example, whether they talked about mental health issues, they talk about family, relationship, nothing in detail, just like a tick box to let us know what was the stress factor. And then we consolidate all of these information, and then we release it every once a year as our impact report, so that we know that currently in Thailand, what are the different stressors among what level of age group, what gender, and in which locality in Thailand, and so that we can work with organizations like the government organization, private sectors, and public sectors in developing a more sustainable and long-lasting policies around mental health, because that is something that we really want to push, and that is a more policies engagement from youth and from different group of people as well.
When you mentioned about like Thailand doesn't have enough human resources in this area, is it because that like in this area maybe it will not be attractive in terms of income as well? That's why people are not interested, because people will be more interested to do something that to make regulate or higher incomes in this. Do you think that our this needs to be changed and the government should pay more and more attention to this? Because the recent news was the cabinet, I'm not sure if it's approved, but agreed to not have people with mental health history to work or serve in a governmental organization.
Right. Okay. There are two questions on this set of questions. Okay, the first one, I think the scarcity of the mental health personnel. I think this problem not only in Thailand but all over the world. But yeah, in Thailand, the scarcity of the health personnel in general, I think there's a problem for a long time. It's not only about the budget issue, but it's also about the people who want to be a doctor or who want to be a health personnel, especially in the mental health field. We have a very limited number of the psychiatrists, like Kuna Montep said before. It's mean that if you want to train the second generation or the third generation, you still have the limited cap of the training, because if you have only 10 professor in the hospital, you can train just only like 2 or 3 new young psychiatrists. So this will be like this for another 5 or 10 years in the future, but it will getting better and better. The salary issue is the one topic. If you compare the salary of people in the private sector in Thailand and compared to United States, of course, is still different. But I think it's getting better and better when people are aware of their mental health. I think the situation will get better. So we cannot stop just only think about the limitation of the number of mental health personnel. So this is the reason why the Department of Mental Health work a lot with other people, not just only psychiatrists or psychologists, but we also work with the village health volunteers as well. We also work with the general volunteer, like in state application. We can create all the people in Thailand as a volunteers. I think if we can do like that, we will not have any issue about the limited resource of the mental health personnel. For the second questions, it's about the rules and regulation about the people who have their mental health issue. I think this is kind of miscommunication from many medias. As I know, I think this rule has had for quite a while, like 10 or 20 years ago. It's about not about the people with mental health issue, but people with severe and uncontrollable mental health issue. This is completely different, because you cannot stop people with mental health issue to apply for the job or to be the governmental officer, because it's almost like 10 or 15% of people in Thailand got a mental health issue. You cannot do that. But I think it's quite makes sense that if you talk about the people with severe symptoms, currently severe symptom of mental health issue, which is if you apply to any company, they will not allow you to enter anyway. So I think this rule, if you communicate it in the right way, it will send a message to the people who got the mental issue that they need to take care of themselves. If they take care of themselves in a good way, they can apply for any job and they will not lose their job. The real problem is not about applying the job, but to stay long in the job and they grow in their career path. I think if you convey this message to the right way, people will get themselves to more about the mental health treatment.
Since we have limited times, Kun Amortep, I would like you to share a little bit about your experience, how to overcome what have you experienced before, and just to give support to those who are watching us right now also, and also of course to seek help. If
Yep.
don't keep it to yourself, to seek help. And I would like you to share a little bit of your experience. How did you overcome this experience? And from that until now, until the founder of Sati app. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I will echo what Dr. Varot said in my answer as well, that when you know it is severe, that you need to get help. And for me, it took quite a while before I was actually diagnosed with major depressive disorder. I think my symptoms came about early 2015, but then I finally got myself started my proper treatment in December of 2015. But then by that time, it was already probably too late, I would say, because I was already severely, as symptoms of depression, one of them is self-harming as well. And so I was already severely self-harming as well. So by April, I was on probably 15 different pills just to take care of myself. And that is because, apart from depression, it's important to understand that when you have mental health, it means that you can also have comorbidity with different other symptoms of other mental pathology as well. So for example, I have depression, but I also have cases of anxiety attacks, and at the same time, I also have psychosis where I constantly would hallucinate auditory and visually. So I was on a lot of medication for that, and so I have to go through a thing called electroconvulsive therapy. Um, which is where I had to then do it in another hospital, in a more specialized hospital, to get that done. And I got myself, I think, admitted into the hospital 3 times over the course of 3-4 years. So it has a lot of lows and highs. But for me, what really helped was the yearning to understand more about mental health, because I felt very alone at that time. So I started to look up, like, what is it that is happening, who are the other people going through what I'm going through, what are they saying. And also family and friend support is very important. So for me, I was very lucky that my family supported me throughout my treatment, as well as some close friends who supported me throughout. And that basically what got me to the point that I am today. And so I for me, I just want to share with people who is going through it is that there will be days that it's really, really dark and it's very cloudy. And then there's going to be days that it's very, very bright and there's rainbow all around. We just need to understand that, these ups and downs is a part of the journey. And every time we go up, there's going to be time that we fall down. And every time we fall down, there's going to be up again. Like when we look at the life graph, it's always like a heartbeat, right? It's always up and down, up and down. And so if it's always straight, then it means that we're living life correctly. So it's all about practicing resilience as well, that understanding that, when you go up, you go down, when you go down, you go up. And as for family and friends who don't really know how to support someone, the best thing you can do is to just give the person space and just to listen to them without any judgment. And I know it can be really hard for a lot of people because we have so many answers that we just want to tell the other person. But a lot of times those answers are based on our belief of what is the best, but maybe not from what their belief of what is best for them. So if a lot of times when you just listen to them and let them speak out their mind and let them just take out all the pressure that they have built up in them, it can reduce the pressure within them and they can have better clarity as well. And so as for family and friends, just hold space and be there for them to listen. And as for someone who's going through it, just know that this is just a part of your journey and there'll be good days and bad days. But at the end of the day, there's something good can come out of it. And, we just need to keep hope at times.
Well, let's say that it's for normal people, there's up and down as well. But for people who suffer from depressions or mental health, their days may be, I wouldn't say a little bit, but heavier than us. Heavier than us. Yeah.
It's
and
it's like a rabbit
others.
hole that you go
Drown.
dig yourself deep down to. Yeah. And when you're having depression, especially depression, right, you're constantly thinking in a loop. And when you're thinking in that loop, it's usually the negative thoughts that you have. And when you have these negative thoughts, you automatically just engage yourself with all the negativity. So when you're having all these negative thoughts, then you might want to listen to music that feed into that negative thoughts, or that you want to do a thing that feeds into that negative thought as well. So what can we do to snap ourselves out of that? That is the whole
Right.
very important thing that we need to do, is to find that thing that can snap us out of that negativity.
I would like to, before we're closing the program, I would like to focus more about the activities that you organize, that the app organized this not this Sunday, the 9th of October. Right. So, Dr. Warodka, what
Yes.
is the topic of your panel that you will be discussed?
Yeah, actually, I will be on the same panel as Khun Montev as well. So it's about the urban mental health. This the reason why we need to discuss about the urban mental health, because the people who live in the urban area is completely different about the lifestyle, about the accessibility to mental health care, comparing to the people in the rural area. And we focus on the people in the urban area, which is, if you see the statistic, they have lots of pressure about the living style, the change of the metropolitan area. I think this is the group of people we need to focus as well. For the other group, like youth mental health, we know that right now our children, our adolescents, they got so many problems after they lost the school for 2 years. Also, the women mental health, which is really an amazing topic, and also the LGBTIQ, which is also the amazing topic as well. I think for the urban mental health, I don't want to talk a lot because I want people to come and join. Because like I said before, I said this word in the TikTok award, because Department of Mental Health just received the TikTok award, the Social Impact Partner of the Year of the TikTok Awards 2022. And I talked to people about this before. I said that the mental health issue is not about individuals, but it's about all of us. So it means that we would like to invite you to come join the event, because the mental health issue, we cannot work alone. As a Department of Mental Health, we cannot work alone. We need the people like Sanju. We need the new Sanju, many Sanju. If we have like hundreds of Sanju, Kunamon we have hundreds of Kunamon. So we can create many things, and we can pay it forward to other people. Not just only have only their own experience, but they can send the good message to other people as well. So I'm not going to expose what are going to be discussed on the panel, but please come and please join us on the panel on the 9th of October.
Okay, Carl, so thank you very much. So on the 9th of October is on Sunday. What time to what time?
It's from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
1 p.m. to 6 p.m. and there's a lot of activities as well. This activity is very good because it's for all ages, all gender as well. Right, and so if you are interested and if you would like to find out or receive more information about mental health, or to participate and help raise the awareness of the mental health situation, not just only in Thailand, but to be self-aware and internationally as well. So please join these activities. What is the name of activities called?
Better Mind, Better Bangkok 2022.
All right, Better Mind, Better Bangkok 2022, and you can see Kunamon and Dr. Warot there. But for today, thank you very much for both of you for joining our program. And that's all for Voice of the Nations for today. Stay tuned with us from Monday to Friday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. You can also watch a rerun on our Facebook fan page, Nation Thailand, and also on our website, nationthailand.com. For today, me and our two guests will have to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ